Yeah, just in answer to William and Masha, I mean, as well as sort of Putin's fantastic line in sardonic repartee, you know, which enlivens every press conference, I think he's been very clever. I mean, as Masha says, he's basically succeeded in dividing the European Union. And not only that, he's put several of its kind of key players on the payroll. Gerhard Schröder, former Chancellor of Germany, you know, now chairman of the fiduciary board of Nord Stream, and you know, sitting in London, reading the WikiLeaks cables about Berlusconi and Russia, you kind of fall off your chair. You know, I mean, the cables say explicitly that Putin has benefited personally and handsomely from his relationship with Putin over these kind of gas deals. So you buy people, that's one strategy, you divide them, or you isolate and marginalise them, which is what happened to UK-Russian relations under Gordon Brown. I mean, Gordon Brown and Vladimir Putin never met. There was not a single meeting between them during that whole period, most of which when I was in Moscow, and UK-Russian relations have been awful. And then we have a new, you know, conservative administration who come along who want to reset relations with Russia. And, you know, the problem is things keep on happening. Like my case, William Hague clearly needed it like a hole in the head. I mean, David Cameron is visiting Russia later this year. William Hague had to say something in my situation. Actually, in the end, he left it to his deputy. He never said anything very explicitly about what happened to me because he's worried about this reset. And so it's difficult. I don't think this is a real political solution, but I disagree. I do think we have one leverage that we can offer is visas. Visas. I mean, what's interesting is how high the visa-free travel to the European Union is. Every EU-Russia summit is almost at the top of the agenda from the Russian side. Why is that? Is that because old ladies in Omsk want to go to Holland? No, it's not. It's because the Russian elite love coming to London, they love coming to the European Union, they like going skiing in the south of France, and they have bank accounts in Switzerland and Liechtenstein and in Cyprus and so on. And so, if as some people are suggesting in connection with the Magnitsky case, if you were to deny visas to certain people in certain cases, say people involved in the Khodorkovsky case or others, then this would at least make the elites sit up. It probably wouldn't change their behaviour, but then they might think twice. I mean, do they lose their flat in London? Does their daughter, does her education suffer, and so on? I can't see a political world in which that would happen, but that's the one lever that Britain has.
Thanks. Next, someone at the right of the back there.
Thank you. On the web, Open University. It's a question across the panel. I'm wondering what continued role you thought external news organisations, broadcasters or correspondents have in Russia, in providing news to Russia, both in terms of the appetite in Russia for those sources of information, and also the potentially calibrating effect those sources have on news production within Russia. And finally, does it matter which platform external sources of news arrive at in Russia? Particularly in mind, I have the stopping of broadcasters using Russian in favour of online Russian.
You got that? Some unclarity here, including in my mind. Did you mean that you mean foreign media?
Yes,
media like the Guardian?
The continued role of external media.
Right. So
on attitudes and appetites for
okay. Thanks. Thank you. Hang on for the microphone.
Philip Saunders from Goldsmiths College, student in journalism, but also British Airways first manager in St Petersburg many years ago. Very interesting, thank you. I was just going to ask two questions. The first one is relating to Belarus. Interestingly, the Western media, and British media in particular, was silent about the elections in Belarus in December. Perhaps surprisingly, the Russian media was actually full of comment about what was happening in Belarus. Not quite sure what political motivation.
I couldn't get a visa.
Yeah, that's probably the reason. Just interested in your views as what the motivation was there, and if there's anything that we can indeed remember and learn from that perspective. And the second aspect is perhaps the biggest debate in Russia in some ways today should be about the future direction of the economy, because it will impact everyone. And I was wondering if you think there's any hope in Russia there can be a free and open debate about what to do with Russia's revenues from oil and so on to determine the economic well-being of the country in the future. Thank you.
Lady over there. Yeah, thank you.
This isn't actually a question, but just an observation that people seem to be much better, more audible when they're using these microphones than the ones with the cameras. Would it be possible for the panel to use these?
I think it's more position than microphone, because you're quite unclear, especially the gentleman at the back was unclear to us. So
It's very clear here.
Yeah.
Even without a microphone.
it's better for you, but not for us. Did you want to add something about Russia, or that's enough?
I just want to hear the panel.
Well, Masha especially, her command of English is such that she talks very quickly. So I'll ask her to slow down again. Given that isn't a question about Russia, I'll ask her one more, if anybody wants to come in now.
Stuart Tom, chairman of the GB Russia Society. Nice to see you again, John. Just if I take one case that might be interesting, we could go into greater detail. Many of us in the West were very upset with the death of Sergei Magnitsky. Now, I wonder how much that was reported in Russia. I know it was a bit, but how much was it done? Who reported? Did the Russian government take on board what went on? And I think some people were held accountable, but were they the right people held accountable? Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart. Gorgi, should we start again with you?
I'll pick up the last question, actually. The case of Sergei Magnitsky was captured by the president personally when there were reports about his death, so he ordered some reaction should be, and the case somehow be investigated. The coverage was quite limited. The case was covered by one of the leading series in Russian newspapers, which is Izvestiia newspaper. But as for the most massive circulated newspapers and especially TV channels, the case was not covered at all. For more than 99% of the Russian people, the name of Sergei Magnitsky is almost unknown.
Excuse me a second, does everyone know the case? No. Do you want to just explain in a sentence what it was?
Well, the story was a very long story when a British by the name of William Brown launched a quite successful company in Russia.
American, I think he is.
Then British base.
American.
Yeah.
Because the son is of the American Communist Party leader.
Yeah, he's American. I met him in London, so it was
All sorts come here.
so he launched quite a successful hedge fund. Total capital probably $4 billion, and he earned much, a lot in the Russian market. But then suddenly he was denied to enter Russia, like the same way Luke experienced by himself. There was no explanation of the denial, and he was sent back to. He came from Britain on this plane, and he was sent back to London and to the United States. And since that time, he managed to involve several top-ranking